Thank you so much, everyone, my co-panelists, and thank you for letting me speak here. My previous speakers have already told you about the CAA and the equal citizenship movement at large. Now, the beauty of that anti-CAA movement and the equal citizenship protesters is that although it was one of the biggest and most peaceful civil disobedience movement since independence in this country that India has ever witnessed, there was no centralized leadership. It was a beautifully democratic, decentralized, and localized movement. Now, my friend Umar Khalid is an activist who addressed many of these gatherings across the country. And all the people, all the 12 and the other 18 people that we are talking about today in this case, they were all ardent equal citizenship activists, and they all protested against the religious discrimination determining citizenship that has never happened in India. But then so did lakhs of others. All of us, if that is a crime, then all of us are criminals. Lakhs of people protested against that, but I think the entire case is actually a way to silence all of us. It's a way to intimidate all of us who participated in that historic movement. It is therefore these people are today behind bars, and it's been going on, and the prosecution, as advocate Shahrukh Alam so beautifully described, the prosecution could not make its case, but yet they are languishing behind bars. And that is the truth right now. The point is the Delhi riots, when it took place between 23rd to 25th of February, it was largely anti-Muslim. The majority killed and injured were Muslims. 7 mosques in the area where the riots took place were gutted, although not a single place of worship of the Hindus were harmed. So you can understand that it was an anti-Muslim riot, and around 750 FIRs, first information reports, were filed for different cases, out of which 1 FIR was turned into the conspiracy. Now, a riot where more than 50 people were killed, when the prosecution, the state, the Delhi police are pursuing the conspiracy of that riot, it's only focused on the equal citizenship protesters. It's turning a complete blind eye towards the other people, which other speakers have already mentioned, who gave open calls for genocides against Muslims. And therefore, right from the beginning, this case is a case of vendetta. It's a case of vindictiveness. And my friend Umar, as well as all the others, are victims of that. This case itself is the conspiracy, right? If there is a conspiracy, it is this case, this FIR 59. It's the biggest conspiracy, which is persecuting these 18 people, as well as trying to intimidate everyone else who spoke for the constitution. If I just focus on Umar's case, how it started. On March 2nd, after the riots had happened and it had stopped, on March 2nd, Amit Malviya, the head of the BJP IT cell, tweeted a 40-second clip of a speech by Umar that he had delivered in Amravati, Maharashtra, which is around 1200 kilometers away from Delhi. In this speech, in that clip that Amit Malviya tweeted, Umar was heard saying that when Donald Trump comes to India on 24th of March, we will protest and let the world know that things are not fine in India. Now, as Shahrukh Alam had beautifully pointed out, that is not any kind of call for violence. That is a call for protest. And that also happened in Maharashtra, that in one speech, he mentioned this. What Mr. Amit Malviya did not mention is that in the same speech, Umar had upheld Mahatma Gandhi and his ideology. Umar had explicitly said that we will not reply violence with violence. Umar had also said that this is a beautiful movement that's upholding the constitution of the country, and that is how we are going to fight. He had explicitly said that, Mahatma Gandhi has given us 2 weapons, which are Satyagraha and Ahimsa, that is non-violence and civil disobedience. And this is what this movement is. The protests, that was the beauty of the anti-CAA protests. But that 40 seconds clip that Amit Malviya had tweeted with a clear political purpose. Now I understand where he's coming from. He's the head of the BJP IT cell, so he has that compulsion to give it a political twist. the unfortunate part is the moment Amit Malviya tweeted that thing, there was an explosion in the media. Okay. All the media started parroting what exactly Amit Malviya has been saying and not giving the entire context. They, in a way, they doctored that clip because they did not include the parts where he was talking about, explicitly talking about non-violence and satyagraha and remain peaceful. So that this cannot be a call for riot. They did not report it. More unfortunately is when the prosecution, which is the state, okay, the state also repeated that same line of argument in the entire FIR 59 and the subsequent charge sheet, which ran 17,000 pages of utterly projecting these people, the protesters, as the conspirators for riot. And as Advocate Alam said, that there was no causal connection between the actual violence and this protest, but these protests itself were criminalized, and there Umar's speech was pegged as the main evidence against him. Now, when he was arrested on 13 September 2020, when Umar was arrested, next day he was produced in the court for the first time. The public prosecutor said that we have 11 lakh pages of evidence against Umar. 2 years down the line, we have not seen those 11 lakh pages. What they have only presented in court are that one speech of Umar, where he gives explicit call for non-violence. That is pegged as the, the center of conspiracy against him, and some statements by protected witnesses, and the fact that he was part of the protest. That is enough to criminalize. And ultimately this FIR 59, which started with bailable offenses, right? It was turned into, by May, it was turned into a terror case when 4 sections of the UAPA were included. Now, that is, so my point is that what Mr. Amit Malviya, the ball that he had set rolling was picked up by the media and then picked up by the prosecution. And when while doing the charge sheet, when the police had gone to the media houses that you had reported about this speech of Umar, so give us your affidavits about how you received the speech and you reported about the speech. And the media, all the media houses squarely said that no, we saw the tweet of Amit Malviya and that is the source of our information. So the entire source of information of this narrative is set by the head of the IT cell of BJP, and that's how shallow this case is. But the thing is that 2 years have gone by and most of the people who were hounded are still behind bars, and they are all fighting for even bail. Like the trial of the case has not started, they are just seeking bail, and that is denied to most of them. The point is that Umar was implicated in 2 FIRs, in FIR 101 and FIR 59. All the other protesters were also implicated in multiple FIRs. The thing is that almost all of them have got bail in all other cases. Now, all these FIRs, it's not like they were pursuing very different or variant narrative about the conspiracy. They were giving the same material. There were overlapping witness statements, and the same narrative that, the anti-CAA protests led to the riots without showing any causal connection. Now, in all other cases, everyone almost have got bail. But in this 159, the case, the FIR 59, which is under UAPA, the bail is not being secured. And because getting bail under UAPA is so much difficult, so that everyone is languishing, almost everyone is languishing. Already it's been told about the particular case, and so I'm not going into the details of the FIR or the charge sheet. I'll just mention 2 things. That additional sessions judge Vinod Yadav, while he granted bail to Umar in FIR 101, said that Khalid could not be allowed to remain behind bars on the basis of sketchy material against him. So it's the court which has said that, the materials are extremely sketchy and you cannot let anyone be behind bars. So by the same logic, in FIR 59 also, they should have gotten bail. Last year, like Shahrukh mentioned, that there was a very good order which granted bail to Devangana, Natasha and Asif. And by parity, others also should have gotten bail. But the Supreme Court stayed that judgment. That judgment, unfortunately, could not be used by the co-accused. They said that since that judgment makes very strong observations against the use of UAPA and criminalize, and the way the prosecution has criminalized protesters, there are very serious observations which require further scrutiny. So the Supreme Court also did not cancel the bail of the activists, but they said that you cannot apply for parity for other co-accused. So other people in other cases had evoked this judgment, this bail order, to secure bail in UAPA, but unfortunately we cannot. So we are basically caught in this legal conundrum, and therefore we are waiting for bail. For Umar's case right now, the arguments in High Court are over and the judgment is reserved, and we are waiting for the bail. I'll just bring to your notice one thing that has happened in the meantime. That one case is going on in the Indian court of law. The other case, a more vicious, a vitriolic case, is going on in the Indian media. The media trial is something that has become a menace in India right now. And we are all facing that, we are all victims of that menace. Particularly targeting Umar. Amongst all of them, Umar has always been the target of media and a section of the mainstream media. Like I said, when Amit Malviya tweeted, they did not bother to cross-check. Even when the prosecution submitted the supplementary charge sheet after Umar was arrested, even before Umar's lawyer got a copy of the charge sheet, Umar got a copy of the charge sheet, even before the charge sheet was placed in court on record. This charge sheet was leaked to the media. And what the media did was that they cherry-picked statements of people that they have made in police custody. Now, by Indian Penal Code, statements made in police custody has no legal value as evidences. You cannot put statements that were made in police custody as evidences in the court of law in India. Now, but these media houses, they did not, give those disclaimers, did not clarify, did not say that, these are statements made in the police custody, therefore they have no value. Anyone can be intimidated to say anything in the police custody. But they started quoting those media, those statements in the media, and tried to show that, there is undeniable evidences against Umar Khalid about his involvement in the riots because so and so had said, and that became the evidence. Now that is not an evidence. That is not an evidence in the court of law. But Indian media started parroting that. Now the problem is that now after 1 year, in between, the court also, Magistrate Dinesh Kumar, he passed an order condemning this media trial, this vicious media trial, saying that it seriously jeopardizes the right to fair trial of the accused. And after 1 year now, the National Broadcasting and Digital Standards Authorities had actually had passed an order against 5 news channels and asked them to remove 5 news outlets that they had aired last year. But the point is, for 1 year, that vicious media trial had continued. Now those are removed, but they had remained. In 1 year, they create opinion. And that is what we are fighting. That is what we are fighting for, all the activists behind bar, that there is a parallel media trial that is going on that puts their security, their life, their limb under immense, they make them vulnerable. And this is not the first time Umar is facing that. In 2016 also, once he was arrested on the charge of sedition, that time also there was a huge media campaign. He was particularly targeted because he is an outspoken Muslim voice who is fearless.
We do need to wrap up.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, that he survived an assassination attempt on him because of this media trial, and all the people who are right now incarcerated are facing this. So these 2 trials are going on. We still have our hope on the Indian media, Indian judiciary, and we think that justice will be delivered. but the world community really needs to speak up, because we need to also match the cacophony of the media trial that's going on. Thank you. Thank you for having me once again.